Coming to the hospital was a little nerve-wracking because I didn't know what to expect.
Charity is 8 days past her due date.
We're a little concerned about the baby's heart rate.
That threw me into overdrive. I wonder if that was my water breaking.
My hope is that we'll be able to have a natural delivery.
She's probably going to end up with a C-section.
You're trying to get towards your goal and you're stopped midstream. You feel a little bit like you failed.
Coming to the hospital was a little nerve-wracking because I didn't know what to expect. It's the first baby, and I am keeping my focus on the end result. All kinds of things can happen between the time of induction and the time that baby gets here.
You're contracting every 3 minutes or so?
Charity is 8 days past her due date. We want to wait for spontaneous labor as long as possible, but she has been asking to be induced.
My husband is my coach. He's precious beyond anything anybody could ask for.
Charity is a very, very strong woman. She has a very high tolerance for pain. I just could not imagine doing what she's doing.
Slow your breathing down. We'd like to place a Foley bulb in your cervix.
Does it hurt?
Yeah.
Just trying to maintain that position, okay, Jodie? It's in there. We're just gonna blow it up. We put 60 cc's of sterile water and just inflate it to help put pressure against the cervix to dilate you more. Okay.
You feel every pain that they feel. It's very emotional to see your child suffer like that. It's tough.
Do you want to stand up? Did that feel good? Okay.
The group I have with me, I need each one of them in the room as a silent support of really just knowing how to be there for me.
You're doing great, baby.
Being married, it's a partnership. And when it comes to having a baby, nothing changes. Even though my wife is giving birth, I'm her coach. I'm the one that she wants to look at when she's in labor. I'm the one she wants holding her hand, talking her through it.
I don't know what that is, but I wonder if that was my water breaking. It was a gush of water.
Like a lot or a little, or?
I don't know, half a gallon maybe?
Oh,
So-
boy.
I think my water broke, but I'm not really sure. For me, and for Matthew, we always knew we wanted children.
Looks like a lot of fluid. Okay. We're just gonna test the pH of it to confirm.
Our birth plan is to have the natural delivery with an epidural.
And it is positive.
I know enough to ask for pain relief when you need it.
Good deal. Congratulations.
Thanks.
I'm a nurse here at Vanderbilt, and I actually work in cardiac diagnostics.
There you go.
It was our choice to have our baby here because it was more like coming home. My hope is that we'll progress along and be able to have a natural delivery.
How you feeling?
Okay.
Well, we're going to check your cervix and see if anything's changed.
There you go. Feel pressure?
It hasn't really dropped anymore.
Okay.
Cervix is about 6 or so.
I'm having a little bit of resentment. Why is my body not doing what it needs to do in order to get ready to have this baby naturally?
There's been a little bit of change over the last 3 hours, but we don't really quite know what the trend is. The cervix will ultimately dilate sooner or later. The question is whether or not her baby's head can get through the bones in the upper part of her pelvis. Your chance of having a C-section is probably 7 out of 10.
The biggest fear that I have is, will things progress along naturally?
You know, I'm in no hurry. We can watch for another couple of hours, kind of recheck and see where we are.
Being a very goal-oriented person, I'm quite a bit frustrated. Here's your goal, you're trying to get towards your goal, and you're stopped midstream. What would be your best advice clinically? Which way should we?
Let's wait a couple hours and kind of see where we are. And then if there's clearly no change at that point, you should probably go ahead and do a C-section. All righty. It's been a very long night, and she was actually contracting yesterday and haven't really seen any progress, which we should see. So I'm really not very optimistic that this is going to go vaginally.
So if you have to go to a C-section, what does that mean?
Then we'll go to the operating room. You'll be able to go, nobody else will be able to go. This is actually our second child. Our first baby we lost within 8 to 10 weeks of becoming pregnant.
I'm just concerned about you and the baby, so if it makes medical sense for us to do that, then I think we should just go ahead and do that.
Miscarrying the baby, it was pretty devastating. I understand and can look at it objectively from the standpoint of, do we need to do a C-section for safety? Okay. But the grieving process that Matthew and I went through when we lost the child brought us closer together. I think it made us stronger as a couple and a little more prepared for this pregnancy.
He's gonna come back at 6 o'clock, and if she doesn't go any further, we're probably gonna end up doing a C-section. I'm ready for this baby to get here. I'm still crossing my fingers that it's gonna be natural. I'm also realistic, knowing that the other side is an option of being a C-section. So.
I'm the midwife today. Kate and Emily they're ready to go home and get some sleep.
I'm back tonight.
Okay,
So if you don't catch this baby, I'll be back.
All right.
Okay?
I've been thinking, no way. In 12 hours, I'll be in a room. This baby's gonna be hours old. See you later. Yeah, ha ha, funny. Yeah, right.
You have a lot of work to do. Pushing a baby out is probably one of the most energy-needing experiences in childbirth.
Elaine was a different story than Kate. With the shift change, it was down to business.
Any questions for me? Okay. And what's your name?
Ian.
Ian? Well, I'm pretty good at setting boundaries. I think boundaries are very important in labor. I think boundaries are very important in life. Okay, and all three of you are planning to?
We would like to be.
Okay.
There's no sugarcoating with Elaine.
This is not a spectator sport. Everybody has a job. So everybody has to work if you're going to be in here. And I can direct that. I'm good at that.
I'm thinking, is this woman gonna hate me today? Is she gonna yell at me? Is she gonna think I'm a wuss?
All right, very good.
It's really not any different. It's pretty jammed in there, but it's not really going anywhere. The baby's head has not really dropped into her pelvis yet. If you look at a pelvis, the head is up here. It hasn't really come down past the upper part of the bones in her pelvis. I don't think this is coming out from below.
I think as a nurse, I know it's a safe thing. But it's hard to hear it now. When you can't deliver the baby naturally, you feel a little bit like you failed.
We're a little concerned about the baby's heart rate. It got a little bit high.
She started contracting around and turned around on the left side. It was very irregular.
Well, I'm going to check her. The baby's heart rate is elevated, and we know that when babies do that, that they may be having some difficulty getting oxygen.
How long will the baby be able to tolerate this? We'll just watch it. And we're still contracting good?
No, not really. So we'll just do kind of watchful waiting and see how the baby does. The baby's heart rate is elevated, as well as having marked variability, and that is a little worrisome. Well, there's a lot of people in here. I don't know how she can sleep, because I couldn't sleep if everybody was sitting here looking at me. You'll be okay. That's just the way we do it. That's the way we do it.
Chloe, baby will be here soon. Just keep picturing her and holding her in a couple hours. All this is for her.
You don't call the shots. You don't say how it's gonna go. You have no control.
To get through the situation, we focused on each other. We focused completely, really praying.
You're doing great, baby.
With that being said, we were able to have a peace about whatever happened.
I'm so proud of you.
I know. The news of the C-section kind of shocked everybody.
I just want the safest possible procedure for the baby and for Jodie.
Okay. Enough tears. I just needed 10 seconds of crying time and I would be fine. Because at that point, the nursing side of me kicked in. And I realized that that's the safest thing, that's the right decision, and that's the best thing for both myself and the baby. I love you.
Me too.
As we were going down the hallway, it seems like it was quite a blur to me.
As soon as you get separated from your spouse, it's a little nerve-wracking. It's a rush that you can't explain. I'm ready for it and scared as hell at the same time.
Once we got into the operating room, it was very cold. I remember a lot of people being around the bed, and then I remember bright lights.
She's scared. I'm sure she's thinking about all the different things that could go wrong.
All right, here we go.
Any questions for me before I leave?
No, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, well, let's just keep this in the right direction.
I'm sorry, I know this is uncomfortable.
It wasn't long after we prayed and the baby's heart rate returned to normal. They came in and said, baby's great, baby's happy.
So you feel these contractions, don't you?
Right now, my body wants to push. My body is pushing, and I'm trying to control it, but I can't.
When I checked, the head was this far inside the birth canal, really close.
We're gonna start some pushes, okay?
Okay. The shaking's normal at this point. When you start to feel a contraction building, then go ahead and just try to bear down.
I'm very uncomfortable. The pressure there is very, very strong.
You're gonna feel my hand. Go ahead and just push into your bottom. Hold your breath in and bear down. Push against all that pressure you feel. Push again. You can do it. She's coming down. Good work.
Come in, push it, push her.
Just realizing that Charity needed me more than she's ever needed me, I was able to push through any kind of feelings that I had and just step in and be there for her.
Get out of your mouth.
That really moves her. Take a break. It can be 3 hours with an epidural. So I want you to pace yourself.
Push for 3 hours? No, this isn't gonna be 3 hours. That threw me into overdrive.
We're gonna test.
Shall we?
During the delivery, Matt was to my left side the entire time, holding my hand, talking me through things, trying to figure out what was going on in the operating room and communicate it back to me. And he has been a trooper through the whole thing.
Hold her. Okay.
What are you doing up there?
Okay so far.
Okay.
I can feel that.
You feel sharp?
No, I can feel whatever they're pushing on.
You're gonna feel a lot of pushing. Okay, that's all. You shouldn't feel anything sharp at all.
Okay, a lot of pulling and tugging.
Should you okay with that?
That's an interesting
I'll stand up. All right.
Baby.
It's a little girl.
I didn't know if you had something picked out. Baby girl Thomas.
Thank you.
She's a beautiful thing.
When I turned my head and looked at her, it's kind of if time could stand still. She had cheeks like little cherub angels. It was just, how could such a perfect-looking little baby be here already?
Bear down. Push, push, push. Good work. All right. Philip.
There you go.
Ready? Push, push, push. Hold it, just like that.
Good. Look at her turn.
That's it, that's it.
Yeah. Good. Oh, look, she really wants to be born. You're doing great.
It's Chloe, baby. She's right there.
Okay, okay. Great, push.
Come on.
Good job.
Oh, that is so great.
Ian is with me. He's doing everything I'm doing. Pushing almost as hard as I'm pushing. I can hear him grunting next to me, breathing with me. He's so there. I can tell he wants to experience this like I'm experiencing this.
You okay? What do you feel?
Okay, stretched.
Okay, great.
All right. I've never had a daughter give birth before, and it was as if I was with her doing I pushed every push she pushed.
Come on. Good job.
Come on, sweetie.
That's great. Pushing, great. Pushing. Very good. Couple breaths. Clear her head. Give me a good, strong push, okay, for her body. Here we go.
It was such a miracle feeling. I grabbed her with everything in me, and it was like, she's real. This baby's real. I'm a mom.
I'm so proud of you. Oh, you did so good. Thank you.
I've been looking forward to seeing my daughter from the time that we looked at the pregnancy stick and it said pregnant. I was just so ready to be a dad.
Those cheeks.
There's no words to ever describe what you feel like when you meet your child. It's the best gift that anybody could ever be blessed with, ever. I could do it again.
Giving birth to Madison has been absolutely amazing. I think we treasure the moments that we've had with her so far a lot more than we would have. We realize the value of life even more.
Oh, I'll go back seat.
Oh, okay.
I think the birth of this child helped us to put the past in the past with the miscarriage of our first child and helped us to finalize the grieving process. And I think this provides the final ending and a whole new life for us.
First car ride.
So I'm going to be who? Great-grandmother?
Is that what you want to be called?
I don't care.
You haven't picked a great-grandmother name, have you?
No, I'm a granny. I'm
You're
everybody's
just granny.
granny.
She's granny. You're granny.
We do have 4 generations living in this house. My grandmother lives here, my mother lives here, I live here, and now Chloe is here. So it is a big, happy family. How many great-grandchildren do you have again?
This is 15.
Chloe is 15.
Mm-hmm. And I know I've been very blessed.
We get to have fun fall birthdays and hay rides and pumpkins, candied apples.
Coming home has been great. I'm realizing a new kind of love that I never knew before. I thought what I had for Charity couldn't be topped. And now when I see Chloe and see Charity's face and Chloe, it just makes me so thankful and so blessed to be a dad now.
You know you're the prettiest baby there ever was. The whole experience was wonderful. I cannot think of a bad moment. If I could do this all over again, I wouldn't change a thing. I think about her and this happens. She's perfect. Sweet, sweet baby.